My name is Rennata Lopez, and I am a director. I've always told stories, but no, I didn't know necessarily that it was something that I was going to do professionally, but always sort of had my, imagination and was always kind of creating and telling stories as a kid on the playground. People always wanted to play with me because I would come up with these big, elaborate kind of games of what we were going to do. And as I got older, finding out more about people and their stories, so like human interest kind of things and what made people fascinating. But again, I hadn't really found my way to working and creating TV content. Once I started to work in that, I was like, oh, this completely makes sense. I started working in lifestyle television. I was always interested in telling like factual lifestyle documentary type stories. And then from there, I went into kind of casting and research and story producing. And then I started working on my own content. 5 years ago, I started my own production company, working for other people, and now I'm working for myself. I guess I'm really proud of all the projects that I'm a part of. I always love to be a part of them. But I guess just my kind of journey ended up into telling real kids stories. The first show that I did was called My Home, My Life, and it was all about kids sort of sharing the way they live and who they are. And I thought it was just a great way of being able to talk about sort of diversity of children and everybody's lives, but also encouraging kids to respect, like our audience, to be able to respect other people's differences by seeing everyone's lives and how different they are, but also finding similarities and commonalities. So that was sort of that show I'm really proud of, and we did 2 seasons of it. I was heavily involved in writing and directing that show. I guess to me, it's really getting to know the child and their stories, helping. I never want to put words in kids' mouths, but really helping them get the confidence to be able to share their story and their words. And I'm just kind of there. Directing is about creating the relationships, making the magic happen. I have, where I've been in a situation where I'm directing something and I know I'm supposed to get, XYZ out of the scene, and I'm not getting any of that. And I think it's a situation where some people would be like really stressed or really like anxious or, and I find, okay, I think we're just going to have to pivot to where the story is. So if the child is not telling the story that we came in here hoping to tell, what is the story that they're wanting to share? I would say that that's one of the hardest parts, because I deal with unscripted kids content, which is like, it's really about afterwards in post. The story continues. We're making the story happen later with what you have. Can't think of anything at the very top of my head, but I would always wanted to work for like TLC or like the Discovery kind of, where they meet somebody kind of interesting and then help tell their story. I love working with groups of kids that are underrepresented, the kind of kids that you wouldn't necessarily see on TV always or never. I guess sort of see if it hasn't been done before, can we make it happen? And why hasn't it been done before? In the spaces that people are normally kind of afraid of working in, I always want to continue to kind of make content in those spaces. Really like the kids space because I feel like you're making more of a impact. We as kids creators and storytellers have the ability to really make an impact on kids while they're still developing and learning, being able to create those ideas. So I've worked in the adult space, of course, but I really feel like with a kids space, you're really making an impact, and I liked that. I'm always watching like really depressing content. I'm just like, people are always like, why do you watch stuff that makes you cry? Like I'll be like, oh, I watched this documentary about like undocumented families that are about to be, sent back to their homes and stuff. Yeah, and everyone's like, why are you watching this? I'm like, I don't know, I love those real sort of stories. That being said, I also like to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of sitcom. I do enjoy the happiness as well.